everybody, E here. Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to Stephen King Ranked. Let's jump right into it. At number 39, we have The Bazaar of Bad Dreams. I really enjoyed this collection. All this stuff here in the middle I enjoyed, of course, till we get like to the top 20, and then those are books that I absolutely loved. I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. Another thing, if you're going back and reading my reviews on Goodreads, my opinions have changed drastically over the years. Most of those reviews are from the last time I reread all of King's books in chronological order in 2015. So, and my opinions can change month by month, sometimes week by week. But with this collection, I really enjoyed, it was more on the literary side of things. It is one of my, I wouldn't say one of my favorite collections of his, but because it's in the middle here, but it stood out because the writing in this one is so damn good. The stories take place over, well, chronologically, they're all over the place. Anyways, some standouts here is Death. I really enjoyed that one. Batman and Robin have an altercation. Bad Little Kid. Several different stories in here I really enjoyed. The problem with this one, and I see a lot of complaints from people, especially with this cover, is that people complain that there's not a whole lot of horror in here. And I don't know what to say to that. Yes, if you bought this book with this cover, you could very well, it's a valid complaint that you thought you were going to get horror. Most of this is not horror. But yeah, so this one is at number 39. At number 38, we have Thinner. Thinner is the book that made everybody go, okay, obviously Richard Bachman is Stephen King, or Richard Bachman is completely stealing Stephen King's style. For me, this is the only Bachman book that actually reads like a Stephen King book, other than maybe Regulators, but Regulators doesn't feel like anything that King has done either. It is super, super bizarre. But with Thinner, I enjoyed this one. I think the best part of the book is the ending. It's a gut punch. If you've seen the movie has the exact same ending. No real reason to read the book. People are going to be mad about that, but I liked the movie and the book about the same. But for my time consumption, for my time sink, I actually prefer the movie. Of course, there's much more fleshed out bits with the Romani, or I don't want to say the slur, but the way he handles the main character and how ugly and nasty he becomes as supposedly his life is getting better because he's losing weight is a big standout for me. So, number 38, Thinner. And at number 37, we have Finders Keepers. This is the second book in the, let's call it the Bill Hodges trilogy, or the Mercedes Killer trilogy. I don't know. The Mercedes Killer isn't in here. Brady Hartsfield isn't in here until the very end. So I want to call it the Bill Hodges trilogy, or you could call the entire thing the Holly Gibney series, whatever you want to do. This one for me, it fell a bit flat, and the main reason for that is when I got into it and I started reading it, I was like, this is really, really good. You're following around this kid, you're following around this guy that has been in prison for so long, and the beginning of the first 150 pages were amazing, and then Bill Hodges comes back. I can't stand Bill Hodges. In fact, what I liked about Mr. Mercedes was Brady Hartsfield, Holly Gibney, even Jerome. I liked all of these characters. I don't care too much for Bill Hodges, and the beginning of this one really, really cemented that. I was like, this book is great, and then Bill shows back up, and I'm like, whatever. So yeah, this one is number 37. At number 36, we have another Richard Bachman. We have Roadwork. This little paperback I found actually in a free library, and don't worry, I traded it for something. I think I traded it for Armada by Ernest Cline. So they got a hardcover, and I took this. But this one, I enjoy this one as a character study. Not much happens in it, and when it does finally happen, it's over rather quickly. Stephen King says that was his first attempt at commercial or general fiction, just regular fiction, no horror, no suspense, nothing really like that. My favorite part of the book is when the guy goes out to the construction yard. I'm not going to spoil too much in this video, but I really, really enjoyed it. And then the young woman that he picks up, and how they interact with each other. There are a lot of bright moments for me with this book, and unfortunately, most Stephen King fans don't like it, or they're indifferent about it. And I think that's kind of a shame, because the book really does shine as a character piece. I know my buddy Cody likes this one, but it seems that if you are an old school Stephen King fan, if you're a horror fan, you're not going to care too much about this one. If you're looking for action and plot and all that stuff, while it does have certain scenes and segments that, get the blood pumping, as it were, it's just more of a literary piece, but it's not on par with something like, say, The Shawshank Redemption. But anyways, yeah, that's number 36. And at number 35, the last one for today, we go back to the Dark Tower with Wolves of the Kala. I enjoyed this one all right. I really enjoyed the stuff that was in the town, the dancing, just the slice of life stuff. I don't care too much for the ending, especially the whole Doctor Doom, all that stuff, the wizard wands and all that stuff. I understand that the Dark Tower universe is supposed to be a world of story. Because you have all these different, you have the Wizard of Oz, you have all these different things that King borrows from to say that this world is a world of stories, and these things just kind of mesh together after the world moved on. But I remember really falling for what is it? They throw the plates. I can't remember what they called them. I really loved that concept, throwing the plates and, that being their weapons. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I may have, but it felt unique to me. And of course, Father Callahan comes back in this one, and we find out what happened to him after the events of Salem's Lot. And it was a lot of fun, but there were several, and this is a big old chunk of a book. There were several moments where I was extremely bored, and they were during more exciting bits. When I finally get back to reviewing Stephen King's work, I'll talk about that more in detail in like the spoiler review. But yeah, this one is number 35. So that's it for this week's Stephen King Ranked. Are any of your favorites or least favorites on this list? Let me know down there in the doobly-doo. Please try to stay away from spoilers. I know it's going to happen, but please try to give at least a spoiler warning. But until next time, I have been E, you have been you. This has been Stephen King Ranked. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!